What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Autumn, and we're back with another video. You know the deal. Okay, so first of all, I want to say by the title of this video, you already know what we're going to talk about today. I just want to say I put down in my notes August 5th that I was going to talk about this topic, okay? And I ended up recording this video with a friend as well. And the video had no sound. So the enemy just was fighting me on putting this word out. Clearly, this is a word that needs to be put out. So today, I'm going to talk about, is God real? That's the big question everyone wants to know. But before we do that, please comment, subscribe, like this video. And without further ado, I'm going to pray and we're going to get right into it. Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, I pray less of my flesh and more of you as I speak, as you use me as a vessel, as I teach and as I show your people who you're about, what you're about for your kingdom and the work for your kingdom, Lord. I pray as you provide me the words to say, Lord, that this is touching someone. I pray peace, love, and sound minds over them in the name of Jesus, Lord, because that is what you have given them, Lord. I just pray that from this video, they will be more filled and have more information about who you are. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. So, guys, is God real? Is God real? Okay. So, and I'm in a different setting. So, look at me. Is God real? I know a lot of us believe in higher power. We believe, well, not we, as in me, but as this generation, they believe in higher power. They believe in saying like a higher being. They believe in saying manifesting this, manifesting that. This is the real deal. We're going to settle this right here, right now, period. And I'm just going to throw this out for the comment section. This is my opinion. This is my platform. If you guys do not like what I'm saying and what I have to say, go make your platform and put your opinion on your platform. This is my opinion. Plus facts, so we ain't even gonna get into that. So I might want to tussle, but it is what it is. So, okay, Holy Spirit, let me let you jot about. Okay. So when it comes to is God real, number one thing I like to tell people, whether this is an atheist, whether this is someone who doesn't believe, whether this is someone who just never had that experience with God, that one-on-one experience. Okay. Number one, what I'm gonna say is, ask God to reveal himself to you. Ask him to show himself to you. That's number one. Okay. For the people, excuse me, it's a chicken salad. Oh my gosh. For the people who are like, oh, I've never encountered God. You know, I've never seen him. I've never heard of them. And the Bible is made by men and it's all made up and all this other stuff, right? So to have that, I want to say, number one, having a relationship with God is not religion. It is not, I have to go to church every Sunday to get closer to God, or I have to follow these rules right here to get closer to God. That's not what it means to have a relationship with God. Having a relationship with God is like having a relationship with your mom, having a relationship with your sibling, having a relationship with someone where it's dialogue between you and that person, and you're building a genuine connection and you're getting to know that person. And in the midst of getting to know that person, they are revealing to you your life purpose and the plans that they have for you while you're here. It's like, that is amazing. It's an amazing deal. And I also want to apologize ahead of time for Cookie barking in the background. So, yes, hopefully this music will overpower her. So, like I was saying, so ask God to reveal himself to you. It's just as simple as that. And when you ask him to do that, you have to really pay attention to the signs and confirmations. You have to really pay attention to the signs and confirmations. And with that being said, I'm going to give you guys an example, okay? So an example when God was speaking to me and I did not listen to him was when I first, around the time, not when I first moved out here, it's my second year out here. Because for those of you who know, I am originally from upstate New York, and I've been in Atlanta for going on 3 years now after this year. And my birthday's coming up, December 22nd. Ooh, big 22. Anyways, back to the story. See, I get caught off guard. So this guy that I know, he travels back and forth from Atlanta to New York. So he is a promoter. So he was promoting clubs and stuff like that. And so he invited me out one time, and I was like, no, I didn't end up going because I had like work, my own plans going on. So the second time he invited me out, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go because I'm gonna go support. The first time he invited me, I didn't end up going. So this time I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go support. Okay. So I'm showing some support, right? So I just got off of work. I take a shower. I'm getting dressed. I'm like, okay, feeling myself, doing my hair, everything. So then I got a headache, y'all. I got a headache out of nowhere. So I got a headache. And then I was like, you know what? Even though I knew it low-key was a sign, but I ignored it. I was like, you know what? This is weird. I usually don't get headaches, but I'm just gonna overlook it. It's probably because I'm coming up with excuses on what that headache could have been because of, or maybe I didn't eat enough, or maybe I'm dehydrated. Child, you name it, I was coming up with it. So the headache was the number one sign. Then after I got dressed, I wore these heels, y'all, that I had got for the first time. They had just came in the mail, and I specifically got the heels for a specific event that did not happen yet. And I was not supposed to wear these heels because it was specifically for an event, like I said. So I put on the heels, y'all. These cute heels from Chinese Laundry. If you know, you know. Period. That's all I gotta say. So I put on these heels. I'm feeling myself real cute. I got the Uber. The Uber came. I get in the Uber, and the Uber's GPS keeps messing up. And she's like, I don't know why this is happening because this never happens. Sign number 2. I was still in my neighborhood. I was still in my complex. And it's like, I still had a chance to cancel the Uber and not go. And it was a good minute too. Like, we were sitting there and she kept trying to figure out what was going on, what was happening, because she's like, this has not happened. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I noticed the sign and I'm steady ignoring it. I'm like, no, Autumn, please. We just gonna go have a good time. You don't ever go out. Just giving myself that pep talk in my head. So the third time we pull up to the club, they're already fighting outside the club. Now, let me just add this. I'm not a clubber, all right? I don't go to clubs like that often. I really don't go to clubs like that at all. But every once in a while, you know, I was the type of person that will pop out. When I pop out, you got to catch me when you can. I'm the gingerbread man. So I was going out to support my friend. And so we ended up, like I said, going to the club, and they were fighting outside of the club. So I'm like, this is the third time, but you know, so I call her and I'm like, come get me, because this is not giving, you know, it's giving very much ghetto. And I'm like, no. Okay. Anyways, so he came, walked me inside the club. Long story short, the club ended up getting shot up while I was at the club. And luckily, my life wasn't in danger, but someone did lose their lives that night. And just as simple as me not being obedient, it could have, I'm alive and well. And the only thing that got messed up was my toes and my shoes, because I had my heels on, and when I like fell and he kind of like hovered himself on top of me, and I like, my shoe got messed up. But I'm still grateful and I'm alive to even be able to share this story, number one. Number two is I was disobedient and I ignored every single sign that God gave me, and I overlooked it. And I was like, no, this is not a sign. This is just a coincidence. Let me tell you guys, number one, there's no such thing as coincidences at all. There's no such thing. Everything happens for a reason. And I'm not trying to sound like cliche. And I'm not trying to sound like, okay, here she goes. But everything happens for a reason. Whether you understand it or not, or whether you get the reason at that moment, it still doesn't defer to the fact that everything happens for a reason. So that's that. So with me telling you guys that story, the reason I told you guys that story is because when you ask God to reveal himself to you, and when you ask him, okay, show me in only a way that I know it's from you what you want me to do, or show me who you are and reveal yourself to me, he will show you. But you have to be willing and open to the different ways that he's going to speak to you. And it's not going to be necessary, and it's different for everyone, okay? God's voice is not going to always be audible. What I mean by audible is like, hey, this is me. Like, it's not going to always be like that, okay? So how you tell it's God is just like this. For an example, if you get a thought in your head, go rob a bank. It's a bank down the street, go rob a bank. Do you think God is going to go tell you to go down the street and rob a bank? So you have to be able to, when you get negative thoughts or bad thoughts, you have to be able to detect who it's from. It's either from God or it's from the devil. There's literally no in between. And when it's from God, you will know, because it will either take you out of your comfort zone in a positive way that will benefit for you, or it will be a positive thought. Period. It's no between. When it's from God, you will not be confused. You will not be questioning whether it's really him or not. You will know, because you will know when it's from God. And sometimes he will send people into your lives that is going to confirm what he showed you or what he told you. He will send people. Sometimes it could be a song on the radio. It could be little things someone says, or y'all, it could be the littlest thing to someone else, but that is the sign that God is trying to get your attention. Like I said, you would know, because you're going to have that talk with him and be like, hey, show me in a way like I know it's from you. Or you can be like, okay, God, please let me see three white cars in a row, right? If I'm not supposed to go to this party, let me see this. Or, just in your head, because don't get me wrong, the devil can hear you. He's not in your head. He doesn't know what you're thinking. But the reason why we get distracted and we get confused because of the devil is because he learns from our mistakes. And what I mean by that is that, say you keep going to you keep attracting the same type of person, male or female, right? In a relationship, you keep attracting the same type of person. So that means that you have not learned that I keep attracting the same type of person. You've not learned the spirit that they have. You have not learned that they're a familiar spirit, because you keep on attracting that person, that same spirit in different people. And when you really learn is when you, recognize like, hey, this person reminds me of this person. And it keeps stuff that they're doing, they're saying, and the way that they act keeps reminding me of this person. And not every time is it going to be a familiar spirit, but when it's bringing you, when a person comes into your life and it starts to become more negative than positive, then that's a aha moment right there. That's a give and take that person is not sent from God in your life. And as well as that person will start bringing you back into old habits and everything. But that's another story for another topic. The point is, you have to recognize, and some of us, a lot of times, we don't always recognize these things. So the devil does. Like, when you don't recognize your mistakes, the devil is taking notes. Like, oh, okay, she like this. She like to do this. She didn't learn from this. So then he will continue to send those things into your life until you recognize what's going on. And let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about the devil. Let's talk about the devil and let's talk about God, right? So people be like, okay, when people be like, how come there's evil in this world, right? How come if there's a God, how come children pass away, and how come there's evil in this world and people get killed and all this other stuff, right? So, number one, when I said how come children get killed and stuff like that, which is sad, don't get me wrong, it's very sad. I don't think any child should have to pass away. I don't think any child. That's a whole nother story for another topic. But what I will say is when you are in a relationship, I don't know why relationships are my example, but when you're in a relationship and even in a family, right? It's not yours. That person does not belong to you. Like, my man. But it's really not your man. That is God's son, God's child. And he is letting you steward that. He's given to you for a time being. So you can go through a process with that person that needs to be done while it's on earth. But that person does not belong to you. That your daughter, even like when mothers have kids, God has given to that mother as a gift for them to steward that child for a certain time that he has them on this earth. But nothing belongs to us. Like to our house, to our families, that's not ours. Like, to a certain degree, if you catch what I'm saying, you catch what I'm saying. But it's not like our property. It's not like, oh, that's my man. Like, I remember one time I was talking about an ex. This is a long time ago, and this girl really opened my eyes because I was like, because I don't even know what I was talking about, but I was like, because he's my boyfriend. And she was like, no, he's not yours. He's not yours. And the way she said it is not like, okay, he's not yours. Like, okay, that's my boyfriend. I know he's my boyfriend. But it was the fact that I was claiming some type of, like, I don't even want to say ownership, but it was some type of like, oh, he's mine. And it's like, no, he's actually not mine. He's God's. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I can only do but so much, but for a time being, God will allow you to be in someone's life to steward that person or as a steward. But as far as like, this mine, it's not mine. It does not belong to me. Like, if you get what I'm saying, okay? You just gotta catch what I'm saying in the spirit, not in the physical, okay? And so that's that. And to answer why does God allow bad things to happen, right? My thing is, just how I gave that example earlier about you can go rob a bank. We have free will. People love to put the blame on God on so many things, but it's like, excuse me. People love to put the blame on God for so many things, but it's like, y'all, we have to be so real. We have free will. We make the choices and decisions every day. Now, whether it's for our good or whether it's going to benefit us, we make choices every day. I have a choice every day to go to work. I can either go to work every day or I can do this on the side to make money, but I have a choice. Now, whether, I'm going to choose the right thing, of course, but I'm saying, like, y'all be trying to put the blame on God, and it's like, y'all have to take credit and responsibility and accountability for your actions. Not everything is on God. Not everything is even on the devil. A lot of y'all like to blame stuff on the devil, like, oh, the devil do this, devil do that. That is the consequence to your own decisions. Then y'all giving credit to the devil, he ain't got nothing to do with it. And God is sitting here like, bro, they for real. And they be so for real. So like I said, God allows bad things to happen because at the end of the day, we have free will. Just as much as I can wake up one day and decide to go rob a bank, I know that's not the right thing to do. I know the consequences. I don't, because I know it's not the right thing to do. I know that there's going to be consequences if I decide to go rob a bank. So I'm personally not gonna go set it off. Okay? That's just not, I'm not gonna do it. Okay? No. But some people are willing to take that chance. But I got a lot to do. So I do not have time. I got something to prove to myself. So I do not have time to go and and zigzags and distractions and go to jail. I do not have time. Y'all. Anyways, so like I'm saying, so back to is God real? So like I said, honestly, I feel like not even just a feeling, but just ask God to reveal himself to you. I feel like a lot of people don't want to take it to that step because the fact that they know once that they do that, he's going to reveal himself to you. And it's just going to be like that. And then a lot of people, I feel like, don't want to really do that as well, because after they realize, okay, God is really real and this is really real, then they're going to have to change their lifestyle. Yeah. Let me say that for the ones in the back. Then they're going to have to change their lifestyle, because once they realize that God is real, right, and the Bible's real, and they build that relationship with God, oh, he's definitely gonna strip you away from things that you used to do. He's definitely gonna want to strip some bad habits away from you. He's definitely gonna take you through that detox, through that wilderness season. Now, whether you choose to want to go through it or not, that's what you're gonna have to do. Because once you grow your relationship with God and he reveals your eyes and open up your eyes and your ears spiritually, because first of all, let me tell y'all this, if for those who don't know, everything happens spiritually before it happens physically. That's why it's so important to pray. It's important to pray because prayer changes things. You can't physically change a person in a marriage, right? Say you don't like that your spouse does this, or when they do this one thing, you just never see eye to eye with that person. Instead of going to that your spouse and nagging them about that, you pray about it. You pray about it and you let God reveal to them whether how you feel about that or whether they can go about it in a different way. But let God take control. And a lot of us like to have control and we like to change things by ourselves, but it's not our might, not by our will, and not by our power. We can't change people, but God can. God is the author and the finisher, the beginning and the end. He's the one who created that person. So he knows how to, you know what I'm saying? But God is not, he's not going to make people do anything. The Bible says, knock and the door shall be opened unto you. You know what I'm saying? Seek him and he will reveal himself to you. But he's always there. He's right there. Okay, guys? God is there and he wants that relationship with you. And I'm not trying to sound cliche, but he does. But he's not going to force it, because if he had to force it, he would have just made us robots if that was the case. I'm pretty sure when you like somebody, you don't want to force them to like you back. You want it to be reciprocated. You want it to be reciprocated, right? So you don't want to force that person to like you, because it's like, what's the point if you have to force someone to love you? You better off loving yourself. I'm just saying. So that's that. But like, back to what I was saying, God will reveal himself to you. And then a lot of times, like I said, it's going to trigger y'all. It's going to trigger y'all. Because it triggered me at one point. And I'm going to be so real. Because I'm human, right? I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. And I take accountability, right? So it triggered me because it's like, I'm going to have to let some of these things go. And it's the flesh part of you that's not going to want to let stuff go. It's the flesh part that wants to continue to smoke, continue to drink. Not too much of the drinking, because he does say modestly, y'all. Let me just say that. I don't drink like that. But I'm not against wine. I'm not against even going out to dinner and you getting a drink. I'm not against that. I feel like you have to drink modestly, just like how it says in the Bible. Never get to a point where you are not in control of yourself. And I know people are like, oh, I know my limit. I'm not talking about you know your limit and then you blacked out on the floor. I'm not talking about that, babe. I'm not talking about that, okay? No, this is not that. This is not that type of party. But do I feel like you can never have a drink? No, I do not. I'm not against that. Moving along. So like I was saying, when it comes to it triggering, it will trigger you because you're going to have to let some things go and that you might not have to want to let go. But I promise you, when you let those things go, God will really not only reveal himself more in your life, but your life will start to change. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna seem like everything is a lie. It's gonna seem like everything is a lie. When you really start to build your relationship with God and he reveals stuff to you, it's gonna feel like your whole life was a lie. Because a lot of us, right, are black sheeps in our family anyways. A lot of us are the overlooked. You know, a lot of us been through, had a lot of trauma, right? And when I say that, I'm not saying we're not healing from it and we haven't grown from it and learned from it. But a lot of us, we didn't grow up with like easy lives. A lot of us went through a lot of stuff growing up. Especially when you're a child of God and you're chosen. If you even look back to biblical times in the Bible, Joseph, David, they went through things. David was overlooked. He became a king, y'all. He was overlooked. When the prophet came to his house, his father said, "These are all my sons." And David was still in the field. And he did not acknowledge David. And the prophet said, "No, this can't be everybody." And then he was like, "Oh, wait, I do have another son, but I don't think he's going to be the king." We're overlooked, y'all. Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, his own flesh and blood. So you're going to, as a chosen person, as a chosen vessel, you're going to go through stuff. And it's going to start when you're young. And it just is. But the best part about it is when you have a strong anointing on your life and when you have a strong calling on your life, no, you are not. God is never going to allow you to be comfortable in any situation that he did not put you in. Never. Because he knows that there's greatness inside of you. Whether you see it or not, you guys know when God looks at you guys, he sees the finished product. He sees that finished product of who you made him to be. He does not see the hurt. He does not see you as a broken person. He does not see you as less than what you're not. He sees you as my child, my son, my daughter, that I made, that I put on this earth to prosper. God has plans to prosper you guys. God does not want you guys living in poverty. He does not want you to, but he can't bless you guys until you get the foundation right. He can't just, that's just like your family having $1 million company. They can't pass down to you that money in the company if you don't know anything about it. Because what? When you get it in your hands, you're going to lose it. So you have to learn about the company. You have to learn about the family business. You have to learn about that corporation before it's placed into your hands. So that's just like with God. So when I said that it's going to change your life, and when I say that you're going to feel like everything is a lie, it's because you're going to realize that everything that people were telling you that you are not, you are. When they say you're not wise, you're not smart, you think you know it all, you're not this, that is exactly what you are. And the devil would like to try to play mind games and try to confuse you and try to flip it. But most of the time when people are like, you're not this, you're not that, that is exactly what you are. And a lot of people will progress that, or they will project that onto you because they feel like, because they didn't get it accomplished, because they never seen it done, that God can't do it. A lot of us put limits on God. We put him in a box. We put a limit on God, and we're like, I know God can never do this. God cannot put you on this platform to have you having this, that. Why? Why do you think that? Why do you think God? The same, my father, right? The same God who parted the Red Sea through using a rod, through using Moses, who parted the whole sea, split in half. And you're going to tell me that my God can't put me on a platform? You for real? Be so for real. Okay? Not my God. Not Abba. We not gonna play with him like that. And some of y'all not gonna like my delivery, but this is how God made me. He knows the people that's gonna watch this video. He knows the people that's going to connect to my platform that I'm having. This is not gonna be for everyone. A lot of people are not gonna like my delivery, but I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it cultured, and I'm gonna keep it to where people can relate and understand on the level that they should relate and understand to. And that's just period. Moving forth, like I said, you will feel like everything is a lie, guys, because once you realize like everything happens spiritually, right? And then you're going to realize like, wow, okay, not even the fact that just everything happens spiritually before it happens physically. You're going to realize like, wow, so God put me in these situations so I can learn from them. And he put me in these situations. Sometimes, y'all, I'm preaching to y'all and I'm preaching to myself when I say this. Sometimes you are the blessing. Sometimes God will put you in an area or around a group of people just to see how they treat you. Because they may think that you're not this, and they may think that you're not that. But the whole time, because that they're connected to you, God has given them grace. God has given them grace because they're connected to you in that season. And God is watching how they treat you, because when God blesses you, and it's not even just about the blessings, y'all. It's really not. But when he does bless you, a lot of times, those same people that mistreated you are gonna be the same people that need you, or the same people that God is gonna have come back into your life once you at that place that God has you, that he's gonna put you at, and they're gonna need you. They're gonna need you. Or they're gonna be like, wow, I would have had no clue that person would have been that person in the next 5 years, the next 10 years. And to us, 10 years might sound like a long time, but it's really not, y'all. Time goes by really fast, okay? It really does. I'm about to be 22 in 20 days. 22. And some people's like, okay, 22, but y'all, the progress, the growth, the healing, the deliverance that I've had in my 22 years of living, work that a lot of people older than me haven't even done. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast, but I'm saying that because it's real. And once you really get to the true identity of why you act that certain way, or the true identity of why you treat people like how you treat people, y'all, my trust level, at one point, I'm gonna be real with y'all, because at this point, if you got it this far in the video, then you're tuned in. My trust level at one point was very, it was given you know what I'm saying, like, what Drake say? No new friends, no new friends, no new friends, no. My trust was not giving, because when I was vulnerable, when I was open, not now, but I'm speaking past tense, when I was open to being myself 100% and loving everyone and being who God authentically made me to be. When I was that in the past, for some people, they mistreated that. So from that, I was like, okay, I'm closed off. You know, I used to say I was cold-hearted. I used to really call myself cold-hearted, and I really used to mean it. And I was so for real, because I was like, no, like, I'm acting rude now because of this, or I act different now, I move different because of this. Now, don't get me wrong, it's okay to move different. It's okay to move different once you've learned something, and you learn character traits of how this type of person acts, and you like try to limit that from your circle. It's okay to move different, but to be completely closed off, to completely like close off your heart and say, I'm not gonna let anyone in because of the people from the past. Not only are you letting them have power over you, but you are giving them that satisfaction. And it's not even about just satisfaction, but for you to continue to live life and being hurt and everything, it's not hurting anyone but you. First, it's not hurting anyone but you, because at the end of the day, when they lay their heads down to sleep, well, the wicked don't get any rest. The wicked does not get any rest. So I'm going to be cautious what I say. Because, yeah. But anyways, at the end of the day, they know how they treat you. And God knows how they treat you. Every time when people think that they are getting away with what they're doing to you, God is right there like taking notes. He's taking notes. No one is ever getting away with how they treat you. That's why God said he turned the other cheek, right? He turned the other cheek because he knows, especially when you know who you are, when you know who you belong to. Sometimes it is worthless to go back and forth with someone who just do not have the capacity to really understand what you're talking about. You will be foolish to continue to, what's the definition of sanity, y'all? To do the same thing over and over and over and expect different results. So it would be foolish of you to go back and forth and argue with someone who you know are not even ready to understand what you are trying to explain to them, or they don't have the, like I said, the capacity in that moment to hear and listen, not listen to respond, but listen to what you have to say and really take it in and understand it. And I also want to say, being able to understand people from their point of view and their walk of shoes is a gift. Not everyone can sit down and have a conversation with someone without going through anything of what they went through in life and be able to really understand them and really listen to them and take in what they have to say and just be like, okay, this was their life. This is what they've been through. I have not been through that, but I can understand why they would want to be closed off. I can understand why they would want to keep to themselves, because this is real life. We're still humans. We have emotions. We have feelings. So I'm a very understanding person when it comes to, I really can't understand different situations. And that's why sometimes I feel like that was taken for granted of in the past, but I can't let the past affect my present moment, because not only is it going to affect my future, but when I have kids, it's going to affect the way I raise them, the way I teach them. And I want to be healed enough to where my parenting skills is not going to reflect in a negative way. It's not going to be out of survival mode. It's not going to be out of being a victim. It's not going to be out of being hurt. It's not. It's going to be from love, peace, prosperity. That's what my parenting skills are. And I don't even know how I just started talking about this, but we're just going to roll with it. But the point is, you have to go deep into when you grow your relationship with God, He's going to reveal to you. He's going to heal you, right? He's going to take that broken heart and mend it back together. But He's going to reveal to you how did it start and when it started. Y'all, it gets ugly. But that's the beautiful part about it. Because in that ugliness, God will still allow you to see beauty. Beauty for your ashes is what He would give you. Beauty for your ashes. Because a lot of us, we don't look like what we've been through. We don't look like the betrayal. We don't look like the hatred that people projected on us. We don't look like the hurt. We don't look like the pain that we've been through. That's because of God. He's giving us beauty for ashes. Okay? And honestly, y'all, this video was not going to be about me throwing a bunch of scriptures at you guys. Because even having a relationship with God is not always going to be a bunch of scriptures thrown at you. God will speak to you guys. Don't misinterpret that, okay? Of course, reading the Bible and knowing scriptures are very important, because that's how you get to know God, because you draw closer to Him by the Word. God is the Word. The Word is God. But what I mean is that every single moment in your life is not going to look like, ideally, what you think having a relationship with God is going to be like. God will have you ministering to people outside of a club. It's not ideally always going to be that perfect setting you had in mind. It's not going to be how you pictured it, how you imagined it. But if you're willing to get used by God as a vessel, all He needs is a vessel. God can use someone off the street to come and minister to you while you are in that place where you need someone to minister. He will use anybody, a child, to minister. He will use a child to show you how love is. As far as when a mother has a child and they've never experienced real, true, genuine love, and the mother has a child and that baby loves him unconditionally, because that's the child's mother. That's what I mean. So when you start to grow your relationship with him, he is going to show you things. And God is so funny. God is so funny, because honestly, I was going to come on here and make a video about a whole nother topic. I was going to make a part 2 video about another video I've already made, which I still will, but not the point. The point was, someone reached out to me and reminded me about this video. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I went into my notes and I was like, I wrote this video down in October. Not only that, but I've already pre-recorded this video. It got messed up. It was no audio when I did it with my friend. So we never even got a chance to remake the video. But this is why God had a specific time he wanted me to put this video out. And now I'm being obedient. And I'm just going off of the Holy Spirit. I'm going off of what I know. Because God, like I said, it's not a religion. God is not going to be like, okay, you can never have fun. You can never go out. You can never drink. You can never do all this. That's not how God is. But of course, once you establish that relationship with God and everything, it is a certain, like, I'm not going to say limit, but as far as like, there is a standard. There we go. Thank you, Holy Spirit. There is a standard that God is going to hold you accountable to. Because once you know the truth, it's the difference when you don't know the truth, right? And you are walking in what you know. But once you know the truth and then you still choose to ignore it, then that's when it becomes a problem. So as far as having a standard, he is going to hold you to a standard. But it's not going to be like, if you don't do this, and this is this. No, it's not going to be like a strict school, you going to detention. But, excuse me, you do have to be obedient, because obedience is better than sacrifice. If God tells you to do something and you don't do it, you could cause yourself delay. You can cause stagnation to yourself. You can cause your own stagnation. It's so, y'all, you know what I had to realize? Because even me coming on here and sharing these videos, and I haven't even been being consistent. Like I said, I work, I have a lot to do, and I go through a lot. So as far as like being busy, so I don't always have time to make a video. But the times I do have it, I'll be like, okay, I'll just wait and do it. But it's not about me. This YouTube channel, it's not about me. Of course, it's my channel. God is allowing me to have this platform. But I'm saying, like, not every time I'm going to feel like putting out a video. Not every time I'm going to feel like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be so real. But if God tells me to do something, I'm going to be obedient, because obedience is better than sacrifice. And just like today, I was coming on here to talk about a whole other topic. And I ended up talking about this topic because this is the topic that needed to be talked about. So once again, I did not come on here to throw a bunch of scriptures in your face. I basically came on here to tell you just talk to God. It's just as simple as you sitting down in your room, put on some jazz, put on some rain sounds, do what you have to do to get to that quiet place, and just sit down and listen and say, okay, God, please reveal yourself to me in a way that I only know is from you, and give him some time. Okay, because even if you do that, doesn't mean like, sometimes God is instant. Okay, sometimes God will be instant. Okay, but as well as if it's something like, God is funny as well. Like I say, he has a sense of humor. So say you ask for something and then the next day you see something and you know it's from God. He's just funny. God is so funny. He has a sense of humor. How do you guys think you are funny? How do you guys think you have a sense of humor? Because God placed that inside of you. If God didn't have a sense of humor, he wouldn't have made you with a sense of humor. Because that's one of his characteristics. You see, we don't look at it like that. That's the funny part about it. We don't. So thank you for everyone who watched this video, who tuned into this video. I'm very grateful to have you a part of this community. I'm very grateful to have you a part of this ministry. Please, oh y'all, also, I'm sorry, my birthday is coming up. He ain't never been with a baddie. I call him at Telly. My birthday is coming up December 22nd, 20 days. And I'm so excited, y'all. I'm super excited. Stay tuned because I will do a birthday vlog. Honestly, that's all I have to say. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. So, yes, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this video. And I love you guys. Mwah. Mwah. God is with you. And I pray that you guys just find peace. God gives you peace in the midst of your storms and comfort. And I just pray that you guys have a great rest of the week, day, night, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you watch this video. Have a good one. Until further notice. Deuces.